Hi, I'm Taylor, and we're here at the shop, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to install a leaf drop outlet on a fascia gutter. And that's what it looks like when it's all said and done. And then we're going to go through the process of putting one in for you. All right, so here's the tools you need. You're going to need right-handed, or they call them reds, snips, and you're going to want, and they're offsets, which is the angle. And then you're going to want a left-handed set. And they're called greens. I don't know why this has got a red piece handle on there, but so reds and greens. Got a Sharpie marker and a pair of benders, a drill, and that's the tools you're gonna need. And then I just cut this little template out of a piece of, just a piece of gutter. And this is gonna give us the inside dimensions on our outlet, like what the size of the hole we're cutting, which we'll get to in a second here. So I'm going to put that out of the way. Actually, no, that's the first thing we need to do. Okay, so first thing you want to do is we want to bend these tabs, and you put the benders to where they're lined up with the corners. That's a little bit high. Let's go ahead and lower that down a little bit. I need to kind of get an angle so I can see what's going on here. So that's basically it. And then I'm going to go ahead and bend it inwards. And I'm going to bend it as far as I can to where it touches, because we want to bend this angle a little bit past 90. So do the same thing on the other ones. And the way I'm going to get and the important thing here is that this line lines up with the top of the benders, and I basically put my eye roughly where the camera is in order to make that so that it's not off. So we want both those angles the same. All right, and we bend that in, and again, touch, so it's a little past 90. And then, at that point, we have the inside of the outlet. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and actually I'm going to show you something here real quick. This is roughly, it's a little bit smaller because of the width of the pen marks, and this is 5 5/16 wide, and it doesn't matter if you're using fascia, lefts or rights, or 5K or 6K, lefts, rights, or centers. Basically, all the parts have the same width. And basically, if you want to check your template, you just check your template against the part by bending the tabs in and then making sure. And it should have a little bit of play, and that's the width. So, all right. So the next step, I'm going to set this up top so it's out of the way. The next step is to locate your hole and drill it. And basically a good way to do that is to take a piece of downspout and line it up against your wall, and to where it lines up with the hole that's in the ground. And at that point, you make sure that the center of the hole that you cut is at the center of your downspout, which is maybe, let's say, leaned up against the wall. So you can really, stepping back a little bit helps you get a good perspective on that. Or having a friend if you need, but you don't have to. And once you've got your position, your location of the center, you put your piece up here like this, and you just trace the lines. Should be 90 degrees. And then you come in roughly 7/16. This first line is more important as far as the exact location than this line. At this point, what we're doing is we're creating a small tab that we're going to be cutting out, and it is going to hold the outlet in place. And that's roughly 7/16.
And they're to the inside of the first lines that you did.
What is?
To the inside, the second set of lines are inside.
Yeah, the second set of lines, I'm not quite sure I'm following what you're saying. I put little diagonals here, but if they understand, then that's, I don't know what you're, sorry. Yeah, so the outside set is the most important, and the inside set is giving you the end of your tab.
And the outside set is 5 5/16.
Yes, that's correct. The outside, I see, that's what you meant. The outside is 5 5/16, and then the tabs themselves are 7/16.
And we come in 7/16 from the outside lines.
Okay, yes.
Got it.
Okay, and then,
Get in your business there.
that's okay. Drilling the hole doesn't have to be perfectly centered, because we're gonna cut out all that material anyway. But so where you drill the hole is important, but where these outside lines being according to the center and the downspout. That is important. You definitely want to get that right. So. Now we're going to go and snip out to the, we're going to stop at the outside line. The actual angle at which you approach it doesn't have to be exactly lined up with what you drew. You don't even have to draw that. I just do that because, I don't know.
Because you like to.
I like to. Gives me a little, lets my artistic side blossom. And make sure we stop at the outside line. Okay. And then I'm going to just kind of hand bend this down. And this is where, if you needed greens, so there are times where you're going to want green-handled snips or left-handed snips to do this. If it's down below the fascia board, you won't need the greens at all. But if there's a fascia board that's coming down below the bottom of the gutter, then having the greens is helpful, quite a bit helpful. You can get by without them even then, but it's a lot harder. So at that point, that's been cut out of those tabs. And then I'm just gonna snip the pokey bits off here, just because that's a good idea. And none of this is gonna show, but we just like to get the pokey bits off. So I'm gonna go ahead and bend this down, and I'm gonna go a little bit past the original angle, the edge of the angle, and I'm gonna squeeze to make this nice and flat. I'm gonna do the same thing on the front. And I'm gonna go a little past, not too much past, a little past where the original corner was, and squeeze. And that's gonna give you a nice straight, oh, we'll squeeze in the middle. And that's gonna be a nice straight piece here. But don't go too far up because you'll mark the gutter. A little bit of this is actually gonna be covered by this tab. So you can, it's not a big deal if you get a little bit of marks there, but you don't wanna go any higher than that. So we're gonna go ahead and take the, we're gonna bend the tabs. I'm gonna bend one of the tabs down directly to a 90 degree, and I'm gonna bend one of them past 90.
Because those are what's gonna hold the outlet in.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go a little past 90 with this one actually. If you go a little bit past 90, a lot past 90 with one, a little bit past 90 with the other, and then when you put this up, you hook the one that you bent the farthest. You hook that one first, come over, I'm pushing, and then pushing up at the same time. Sorry, I get up on the ladder here. We need to screw this gutter back in. Okay, I went a little past too much. I'll get it a little bit back. That'll be fine. What's... Oh, it's just not snapping. I'm used to it snapping. So I'm gonna actually do the thing I just said. So it snaps.
Gotta hear the click. Bam.
All right. Now it's clicked in place and it won't fall when you let go of it. Then I'm going to go ahead and go up. And I'm going to come at it from the top. I'm going to start with the one that I bent the sharpest. That way it's just easier on that one to start. Now it's being held in even better. Go to the other one. Now when I'm doing this, when I'm all done, I'm bending it all the way down to where it touches, and I'm squeezing it. And I'm squeezing it hard, as hard as I can, because the squeezing is what cinches the part up against. And I can push down a little bit and get a little more leverage. So let's check, make sure I did this one tight. And that's it. And At this point, we didn't use any screw, we didn't lose any glue, and it will pass significantly more debris than ever before. So, and it's, I mean, we didn't fasten the test gutter great, but it's not going anywhere. So, there you go.